on a journey, come ride with me. Let's explore the world, feel that synergy. From the streets of Lagos to the shores of Cape Town, feel the rhythm in your soul, let's get down. Pack your bags, let's escape a world of color where the dreams take shape. From Accra to Nairobi, the vibe is alive. With every step I take, my spirit starts to thrive. Feel the sunshine, hear the drums beat. With every journey, I find my heartbeat. Connecting with the culture, feel it flow through my veins. Traveling opens up my mind, it's breaking all the chains. Passport to purpose, let's go explore. Every destination opens up the door. Elevate your soul, let the rhythm in. Inspiring stories where the magic begins. Traveling the world, oh, we're feeling so free. Others aiming elevation. Come take this ride with me. From the islands of Jamaica to the streets of Dakar, meet the people, taste the flavors, that's who we are. Dance under stars, let the music invade. Every trip I make, new memories are laid. Feel that Afro beat moving through my soul, bringing connections that make us whole. We won't stop searching, there's so much to see. With every passport stamp, we're writing our history. Passport to purpose, let's go explore. Every destination opens up the door. Elevate your soul, let the rhythm in. Inspiring stories where the magic begins. Traveling the world, oh, we're feeling so free. Ever sailing elevation. Come take this ride with me. See the sights, feel the love, it's a vibe you can't miss. From the beaches of Brazil to the heart of Venice bliss. We're building bridges, tearing down these walls. With every new adventure, life's a series of calls. Laugh and learn, let the stories unfold. Experience the journey, let the moments be told. Passport to purpose, let's go explore. Every destination opens up the door. Elevate your soul, let the rhythm in. Inspiring stories where the magic begins. Traveling the world, oh, we're feeling so free. And it's aiming elevation. Come take this ride with me. So grab your suitcase, don't hesitate. Let your spirit wander, we're creating our fate. With every new journey, our hearts will sing. Passport to purpose, let the freedom ring. On a journey, come ride with me. Let's explore the world, feel that synergy. From the streets of Lagos to the shores of Cape Town, feel the rhythm in your soul, let's get down. Pack your bags, let's escape a world of color where the dreams take shape. From Accra to Nairobi, the vibe is alive. With every step I take, my spirit starts to thrive. Feel the sunshine, hear the drums beat. With every journey, I find my heartbeat. Connecting with the culture, feel it flow through my veins. Traveling opens up my mind, it's breaking all the chains. Passport to purpose, let's go explore. Every destination opens up the door. Elevate your soul, let the rhythm in. Inspiring stories where the magic begins. Traveling the world, oh, we're feeling so free. Others aiming elevation. Come take this ride with me. From the islands of Jamaica to the streets of Dakar, meet the people, taste the flavors, that's who we are. Dance under stars, let the music invade. Every trip I make, new memories are laid. Feel that Afro beat moving through my soul, bringing connections that make us whole. We won't stop searching, there's so much to see. With every passport stamp, we're writing our history. Passport to purpose, let's go explore. Every destination opens up the door. Elevate your soul, let the rhythm in. Inspiring stories where the magic begins. Traveling the world, oh, we're feeling so free. Ever sailing elevation. Come take this ride with me. See the sights, feel the love, it's a vibe you can't miss. From the beaches of Brazil to the heart of Venice bliss. We're building bridges, tearing down these walls. With every new adventure, life's a series of calls. Laugh and learn, let the stories unfold.
What's going on? What's happening, everybody? Hope you're doing well. And welcome to Passport to Purpose. That's right. We're here live Coming to you from the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And as a matter of fact, man, I think, okay, cool. I see. We're going to try this before we get into this tonight. I'll just let you know my name is Jay Cameron. Thank you for joining me. Let me see if I can bring my man, Shawn, up real quick. Oh, there. Okay. What's happening, sir? Let's see. Can I hear you? I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Can you hear me? You can hear. Let's see here. Let's see. Try now. I thought I heard something. Let's see. Let's see. All right, yeah. I can't hear you. Interesting. But you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you now. There you go. Something happened.
There we go.
Oh man. So before we get into this, I don't know if you get a chance to stick around, but this conversation that you're about to watch that we had a few days ago, I know it's going to touch a lot of folks. So please, if you're watching on the replay, make sure that you go and share this video. For those who are watching live, thank you for tuning in. As a matter of fact, if you would, just let us know where you're watching from in the live, and then we're going to play it, and then you may have some questions for Dishawn at the end, because there's a lot that he breaks down in our conversation and that you're going to want to enjoy. So how you feeling today, man? You good?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. And I'm really looking forward to sharing our conversation. So, all right, everybody, we're going to share the conversation. I don't want to say too much about it because, we talked about it in the conversation. Take a look at it. And when we come back, get your questions ready. And for those who are in, let's see, those who are in the chat, cool. Okay, Miss Geraldine, she's out there. All right, cool. All right, so we're about to take a look at Dishawn as he talks about how he lost 100 pounds so far in his journey. He was almost at 450. Now he's down. Well, it's all in the conversation. So take a look, and we'll be back in a few. So did the obesity affect your manhood?
And I was over 400 something pounds, pretty close to 450 pounds. And I wasn't in the best of health, and I couldn't even walk. I don't want to be sickly and laying in bed and can't do anything or just in poor health, and my wife has to take care of me. I don't want to be a burden to her. I'm talking about pain that I've never experienced in my life. Never experienced. I felt horrible. Like I wanted to, physically, I felt like I was dying inside. I felt horrible. I was in prayer one morning, and the Lord said to me, "You're going to die soon." And I said, "But Lord, you and I talked. You promised me that I was going to go back to Africa. You showed me I was going to bring people and this, that, and the third." I'm just like, but there's things that's supposed to happen. And then they say, "Well, what happened to you, Dishawn?" Well, I couldn't stop eating burgers. So it was like, I don't want to participate in my self-destruction and eating incorrectly. There's something to knowing that what you're putting in your mouth.
Passport to purpose and survive and share. Join us on this journey, together we care. Open your heart to the world's sweet embrace. Let's travel together, find our place in this space.
Welcome to Passport to Purpose. This is Jay Cameron, and today we're going to be having a conversation with someone who's not a stranger to Maximum Impact and to the Passport to Purpose family. We're going to be talking to Mr. Dishawn Gandy, but I wanted to, encourage everybody to make sure that you check out all that we have going on at Maximum Impact Travel, all of our travel experiences. Also check out our children's books, The Adventures of Darren and Destiny, over on Amazon, our activity books, and you can become a part of the Passport to Purpose family. So check out the information below, how you can sign up and learn more about everything that we have going on over here. So now that's what I want you to do. But right now we're going to get into a really powerful conversation. And this is with Mr. Dishawn Gandy. He actually posted a picture on his social media profile last week. And when he posted the picture, it was showing this drastic weight loss that he had just completed. And so I wanted to talk to him because he and I have known each other for a few years now, worked together, and we've had some conversations about health and weight loss and all of those different things. And when I saw that he had lost over 100 pounds, I said, hey, man, I said, we really, there are people out here who are struggling with their health, and it ties back into their weight. And I would love for you to be able to share your story. And he talked about how traveling to Sierra Leone and to Ghana inspired him to have his weight loss journey go to the next level. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, I want to welcome Mr. Dishawn Gandy to the Passport to Purpose podcast. What's happening, Dishawn?
All right, Jay. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing
how you
well,
doing,
man. It's it's good to see you, and it's good to see and hear that you're doing well, and that you have taken on this weight loss journey. And I think it's deeper than weight loss. I think there's more to this story, and you're going to have the floor to really share, because I know that you're going to inspire a lot of people. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, Mr. Dishawn Gandy. So let's talk. And I think this is probably a fair question. How did Sierra Leone and Ghana inspire you to lose all of this weight?
So just my experience in West Africa, Sierra Leone and Ghana, it literally changed my life. Just the history aspect of it, the communal aspect of it. I learned so much, I experienced so much, and I felt alive. I think even at some point in my experience there, I had what I would call an epiphany. And that's where, and it was so surreal, because it was at the moment where everything around me was so different. Like, I knew nothing around me was familiar. Like, the sounds I was hearing, they just aren't the sounds that I hear here in America. What I was smelling wasn't what I was smelling. The food and just the culture, everything was different. But at that moment, I knew I was home. And it was just a crazy moment for me, because I was just like, wow, like, I know nothing around me is familiar, but I know I'm home. And so everything I experienced in Sierra Leone, I was able to go there in 2022 and get my my citizenship. And then going to Ghana with you in 2024, Maximum Impact Travel, that was just an awesome experience. My wife, Dawn, and I. And so when I left there, I knew that I had to bring other people back. I knew people in my family, my friends. I knew people of the diaspora that I knew that I could get in touch with, that I could talk to, that they had to have the same experience, this life-changing experience that I had. And so my endeavors was just to bring people back, just any way I could to get people to come to the continent of Mother Africa. And so my wife was very gentle with me, because during that time, just overweight, immensely overweight. And I was over 400 something pounds, pretty close to 450 pounds. And I wasn't in the best of health, although every time I went to the doctors, there was nothing wrong with me, but they kept saying, at your weight, anything is possible. So it was, I was susceptible to anything. Like, anything could come on at my weight. So I'm gliding through, thinking I'm good. But I had immense pain in my knees. Remember, we went to the 30th Black Harvest Film Festival, the Gene Siskel Film Festival in Chicago. One of me and the fellow film producers of mine, we did a film, and I could barely walk. This was in November of 2024. Right after we had come back, a few months after we had come back from Ghana, and I couldn't even walk. I was in Chicago and I'm limping around, and I had to come back and be in a play. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna have to have a cane for this play. I was just that much just hurting my knees and my joints and everything. And so my wife, she kindly, gently said to me, she said, I don't know how you're going to go back to Africa in the condition that you're in, the physical condition that you're in. So it went in one ear and out the other. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I got this, because I knew that I wanted to go back to Africa, and I knew that I'm bringing people back. Like, that was just something that my heart was set on. But then I was at my parents' house one day, and my father was like, he wasn't brutal with it, but he wasn't as gentle as my wife. And he was like, boy, how you gonna go to Africa? You can't even walk here in America. And I'm just like, oh man, like that's pretty cold. And so that kind of just like, it was the seedbed for me to change. And I didn't know how to change. I knew I needed to change and I knew I wanted to change, but I really didn't know how to begin that journey. Dealing with the cravings. At the time by that time, by November, I had turned 53. So I'm 53 years old. I'm dealing with a lifestyle that I've adopted for decades and trying to cut it, trying to change it, trying to change my mind and all of that. It was a process, but always in the back of my mind, I knew that I can't go back home to Mother Africa like this. I
got to ask you, because, I mean, when you mentioned it, and I'm glad you did, because you said you topped out around 450 pounds. And I have to wonder, how and when did that journey start? How does someone get to 450 pounds? And I guess that would be considered morbidly obese. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's fair to say.
So when you mentioned decades, so when did this start? Because I'm thinking about those who are watching right now, and it might not be someone who is battling it themselves, but they might know someone else who is, and or who has battled it for decades, but it's limiting their life. They're not able to enjoy a lot of things that they want to, but they haven't seen. They know what they're supposed to do, but they have not seen someone actually do it. So let's go back to young Dishawn. Where did it start?
I say for me, I would say high school, and I think just playing football. We were taught to eat, just eat. You need your carbs, you need this, you need that, and so. But I was athletic for the most part in high school. I was doing sports. Playing football, I was on the track and field team, so on the shot put. This is at Willingboro High School in New Jersey, and so just being active in sports. And when I got to college, I had 5 football scholarships that I turned down because I wanted to go to Rutgers University. Rutgers didn't give me one, but I went to Rutgers, so I wasn't playing any sports. And so I maintained an eating habit that I had for someone who was in the gym, working out, but no longer working out, no longer in the gym. And so I had developed this craving of eating food, of just eating food and eating to the full. And I could make the long story short by just saying I loved food more than I did pretty much anything else.
So you love food even more than, say, loving your health or loving.
Yes, absolutely.
Look in the mirror, though. I mean, you're a good-looking guy. So you look in the mirror, and you look one way, and then you see things start to expand.
Right.
Was there anything in there to say, wait a minute, my face is not looking like this. It used to look like this. Was there any moment where you had that realization?
Yeah, there was a moment, and it wasn't when it should have happened. I think my freshman year in college, I gained about 40 pounds. And it didn't hit me then that I had gained weight. I knew, that I gained weight, but it wasn't an issue. I'm still young. I can still run up and down the basketball court. I can still do things. I'm just heavy. So it wasn't until after I got married, and I think I had blown up. And then that's the time when I had really just gained the most weight, was during those first few years of my marriage, those first 5 years of my marriage. And I had seen photos of me, like in church playing the organ and things of that nature, of when I first met my wife, then 5-6 years later. And I'm just like, what in the world happened? And I even told my wife and my parents, I was just like, none of y'all said anything to me? Like, y'all should have been in my face like, yo, you look crazy. Like, stop eating the way you're eating and this, that, and the third. But I wasn't getting that. And at the end of the day, you don't really need that. Like, like I could see myself that I was gaining weight and things of that nature. But even seeing all of that, it's like I wanted to, but my old lifestyle was stronger. That desire was stronger than my desire to want to lose weight, if I could say that.
No. I mean, and that's fair. I mean, because again, when people looking on the outside don't understand You know, we all have a vice or an issue or something. Some of them show up externally. A lot of them manifest and have effects internally. That's why a lot of our health challenges come, you know, through internal organs, you know, starting to fail slowly and gradually over our lifetime. But I think that when you're talking about it, was there like any trauma or anything that triggered it? Because people think, well, there must have been some sort of trauma that caused him to, you know, overeat like this. Would you attribute it to any trauma?
For me, there were no traumas. I jokingly always say, I have a brother who's older than me, and when we were children, my brother, like I'm talking about like really small, like 3, 4, 4, 5. He's a year older than me, and we would eat, and he would take his food and put it on my plate and say, "You better not tell mommy and daddy." And so my parents would come in, they'd be like, "Oh," to my brother, "Oh, you finished your plate, nice." And they look at me, it was like, "Finish your food." And I'm looking at my brother like. And so I wind up eating his food and my food. And so I always tease and say it was then that I formed an appetite to eat 2 meals at one time.
Well, you know, I mean, that's real. That's real. I mean, when you think about it, that's real, because if your habits are formed at a very young age, and you don't really understand consequences at 4 and 5 years old. I mean, you understand getting in trouble with your parents, but you don't understand the consequences of eating. Because I remember when I was, you know, you and I are not too far off in age here. I remember one of the things that they would be proud of. Hey, that boy can eat. That boy can eat 2, 3 plates of food, but then I'm running around outside, you know, burning it off. You know, I was athletic as well. And, you know, but it got to a point, I think, that I could look in the mirror and I could see, hey, I don't know. Well, my problem was I couldn't get over 200 pounds until I was like grown in my 20s. So I was trying to get over 200 pounds. I couldn't get over 200 pounds. And now that I'm over 200, now I'm trying to get back closer. So, you know, that thing changes on you. But to your point, though, you mentioned developing that habit, and it seems subtle, but it was subtle, and then it turned into this you becoming used to over consuming.
It's absolutely, absolutely. I became very used to over consuming. It was expected to clean your plate, and then you know I look at other people who didn't finish their plate, and I just be like, just finish your plate. And they say I'm full. I'm like, but just finish the plate. Like it's only a little bit. Like just eat it anyway. Like, just clean your plate, because that was just my mentality. Like, clean your plate. Not understanding that if you're full, push away from the plate, you know? So,
I mean, a lot of us in our culture, in our community, this is what we see people, you know, battling. And it's, we even now have a culture that encourages unhealthy living, unhealthy consumption. So I'm not talking about like if someone has a large body frame and they carry extra weight in that sense, but it's like our culture encourages overconsumption, supersize this, upsize this, where we don't even consider the caloric intake versus what we're putting out, and then the impact on our life. And something that I'm big on is showing people how to live a fulfilled life. And so when you mentioned this, it was kind of like, wow, you know, this is the weight. And you and I talked about this before.
We did. Yes, we did.
Yeah. So when I saw it, I was like, wow. I said, this is great to see that you're making this progress and making these decisions. But but I guess the thought is, a lot of us know what we should do. We understand it intellectually. But why is it so hard to make the decision to go in a different direction when we can see that it's not healthy and it's preventing us and it's limiting us? What would you say for you? How is it that you could continue for so long? Because like you said, for decades, it's decades.
Yeah. I think society teaches us, especially the Western society, teaches us to love what you love. To love what you love and to be fed by what you love. Like if that's what you love, go for it, you know? And so I had an affinity for food. I just loved it. Just cooking, like not just eating food, cooking food, just cooking. I love to cook. I love to experiment in the kitchen. I love to discover new recipes and food ways from different ethnic groups, and then come home and try to make that and duplicate it. So just the whole art of food itself. And so I didn't understand how to be healthy with those choices and my affinity for food. But I did know that it made me feel good and it satisfied my taste buds. And I think for me, one of the things that helped me out is that I said to myself, I said, okay, like when I decided to make this change, I said, I'm 53 years old. I said, at this point, I no longer owe myself that old lifestyle. I gave Dishawn that craving. I fed that craving for 53 years. I owe those cravings nothing else. I don't owe those cravings anything more. So I need to somehow find a way to change my cravings and form new cravings that's going to now help me out, because at 53, I'm no longer running into the woods. I'm running out of the woods. It's like, I'm no longer running into the middle of life. At 53, just for the numbers, I'm running out of life. So I want to extend that. I want it to be better, a better quality of life. And I don't want to be sickly and laying in bed and can't do anything or just in poor health, and my wife has to take care of me. I don't want to be a burden to her. And so, but it took me a while to get there, because even with those thoughts in mind and seeing other sick people around me, sick people in my family, I still loved what I loved. And society teaches you to feed what you love. Go after it. You love it. You love it. I love it. You like it. I love it. And so it was that mentality.
Well, that's real. That's real, man. And I appreciate you sharing that, because if someone is going to reboot their lives or elevate their lives, there's oftentimes that crossroads where you have to make a decision, and then the sacrifice. What are you willing to give up to go up? What are you willing to do to propel yourself to that next level? And it sounds like to me, you had to get to that point, because otherwise, your dad, he came in, he said, hey, if you're trying to go back, if you can't walk in America, how do you think you're going to walk in Africa? And, of course, Dawn, she being gentle with it, but just kind of putting that in front of your face. And were you offended when they came to you with that? How did you respond to it? Because sometimes people can get a little sensitive around this topic.
I wasn't offended. I just didn't think it was a problem. Like, all I knew, I was going back to Africa, and I had been there overweight. So I was like, nah, I'm good. Because when we were there, like in November of last year, I was over 400 pounds.
Well, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
It was around the time when we went in March of 2020 or last year, and you were walking around. And again, everybody, Deshawn and I have had this conversation. I mean, we're friends. We've talked. So, but as you were walking around. And you were moving, but I could see that it was weighing on you.
Yeah.
I could see, I saw the perspiration. I saw where you were you were keeping up, but I could see that it was a struggle. And I had to wonder to myself, of course, taking that long flight and getting in those seats. I don't know, did you fly economy or did you fly business class?
Not business, but I didn't fly economy either.
Okay.
I was in between.
Okay.
Plus, what they call it, plus special or something like that?
Delta Comfort or something like that. So
yeah.
I was thinking, I said, did you have enough room in the seats? Did they have to give you a seatbelt extender? Is that something that did you go through that, or were you able to navigate?
I had to get a seatbelt extender. I think every time I've flown, I've had to get a seatbelt extender.
Okay. And The only reason it crossed my mind because I was like, wow, I said, his brother, he has the heart. He wants to do it. But is this going to be something that's going to prevent him from reaching his full potential with it? And so that's why I said when I saw the post, of course, post our conversations, because we had straight up conversations, hey man, what we going to do here? We got we got to work this out. What's happening? We've had that conversation. But when I saw that you were making steps in the right direction, it was like, he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
And other people, and that's what I said to you, I said, man, this is powerful. I said, because other people just need someone to see them do it. Everybody remembers when Oprah had the thing and she had the big wagon of She came out and all of the weight was in the wagon, and she showed, and then she kind of, went back, and everybody was celebrating, I think this was back in like 92 or something like that. And, Oprah lost all the weight, and then she realized, she said, well, there's a balance here. There's a balance to this. And the other contributing factors that she recognized within herself, but it was profound because she was willing to share that journey. And everybody's journey is so unique. It's a very subjective journey. It's not, some people's challenge with, and I'm talking about unhealthy weight. I'm not just talking about weight from the sake of weight. I'm talking about being healthy.
Absolutely.
Everybody's, some people it's trauma induced. Some people it's habit induced. Some people it's just the cravings that come along with it. So each person discovers that for themselves, and then they have to make their own determinations. But with that said, there are folks out there who recognize it. They know it. They've tried every diet. They've done the keto. They've done the vegan. They've done the everything that you can think of. And there's this thing that still kind of it's a struggle, and it keeps kind of pulling them back. I want to ask you this. What is going to prevent you from going back to 450 pounds? So I imagine you're probably around, 3 something now?
Yep. I'm under, I'm 330 something.
Okay. All right. So what's going to prevent you from going back to 450?
There was a point, I believe it was in January, because that's when I started this journey. It was in January. I had tried Ozempic. I maybe was doing Ozempic for 3 months, 4 months.
A1C drug?
Yeah, not Ozempic. It wasn't Ozempic. It was one of them other ones that's out there.
What was it trying to regulate? Because you developed some health challenges, right?
Yeah, but my doctor just wanted me on it, and afterwards she told me why she wanted me on it. She was like, because I kept hoping that you would take the initiative to lose weight, and you wouldn't. So at the end of the day, so she put me on this Zepbound. That's what it was. It was Zepbound. And at some point, I got violently ill with the Zepbound. I'm talking about pain that I've never experienced in my life. Never experienced. I felt horrible. Like I wanted to, physically, I felt like I was dying inside. I felt horrible. And so I called up my doctor, and her solution was to give me another medication to counteract the feelings and the symptoms I was having from the Zepbound. And I'm just like, so how many medications am I going to be on? Like this doesn't make sense for me. So I'm just like, I'm good. So I just cut the Zepbound. I was like, I'm not doing the Zepbound thing. And then in January, I was having just some discomfort in my chest. And my wife was like, we need to go to the emergency room. It's not getting better. We went to the emergency room. They kept me overnight. They ran all kind of tests and everything. They couldn't find anything. Then the next morning, while I'm sitting in the emergency room waiting to be discharged, I have another episode. I'm feeling it in my chest. They come running in with the carts and all that stuff, and they're reading me, and still nothing. So it's like, you need to check up with your doctor. So checked up with my heart doctor, and I didn't have one because I didn't have a heart problem. I didn't have any condition with my heart. So I checked in with my doctor, or got a heart doctor, checked in with him, and he came back and he said, you have unstable angina. So I'm like, cool. He was calm with it. So I was calm with it. I'm like, okay. Then he walked out, and I just looked up unstable angina, and it's not good. Like he just said, it was like, yeah, you gotta, like it was nothing. And I'm just like, so I called him back in there. I was like, Doc, you just said I have unstable angina. Are you kidding me? Like, what am I supposed to do? And he was like, well, come back and see me, this, that, and the third. I'm just like, you know what? At this point, I need to take my health in my own hands.
Now, what is unstable angina? Let's walk that, because somebody hears it. They may Google it or ChatGPT it or whatever. But for you, you saw what came up.
So there's stable angina and there's unstable angina. Stable angina is when you walk up a flight of steps, you go out jogging, or you go walking, you do something seemingly strenuous, apparently strenuous, and you get pain in your chest. And I guess they call that stable because it happens under certain conditions. Unstable is when you can just be sitting down, relaxing, doing nothing, and you get chest pains. And so
you had like an irregular heartbeat or something. How could he tell it was?
because they ran the test. They ran several tests,
Okay.
and things of that nature. And so they came back and it was like the result is unstable angina. And unstable angina is kind of, I want to say it's kind of worse than stable angina because with stable angina, you can just avoid certain circumstances. Like you got a flight of steps, take the elevator, things of that nature. Unstable angina, you can literally be doing nothing. Just like us, like you and I, as we're sitting here talking, and I'm not overexerting myself, I could have like these chest pains and things of that nature. And so I was like, I need to take my own health into my own hands. And I just started researching. I started looking into everything. And my aunt had said to me, and my mom's baby sister had said to me back in November, I was just like, what is that for? And she said to me, if your life depended on it, would you change the way you eat? I was like, sure. But at the time, my life didn't depend on it. I'm just like, sure.
So you thought, right?
Yeah, so I thought. So I'm like, yeah, when that time comes, I'll change the way I eat. So at this moment in January, I felt like the time has come. I need to change my lifestyle. And not for nothing, I was in prayer one morning, and the Lord said to me, you're going to die soon. And I said, but Lord, you and I talked. You promised me that I was going to go back to Africa. You showed me I was going to bring people and this, that, and the third. I'm just like, but there's things that's supposed to happen.
When we come back, the conversation continues. But first, a special message from one of our sponsors. Maximum Impact Travel celebrates the rich history and culture of the African diaspora, connecting travelers to Africa, the Americas, the Caribbean, and Europe. Through carefully curated tours, they showcase the people, traditions, and hidden treasures of these regions, offering unforgettable journeys that honor the beauty and legacy of the African diaspora.
And the Lord said to me, but you have to get there. And if you don't make the choices to get there, I'm not going to force your arm. Like, I'm just telling you what could happen, and so all these things started coming at me in different directions, my health, just all of this stuff. And so I started researching and I started looking at it ethically, because the lifestyle that I've adopted is that I do whole food, plant-based, oil-free diet.
Okay, before we get there, though, you said something really, really profound. You said something, you started talking about your spirituality, and you started talking about how when you were having a conversation with God, God was telling you that you were going to die and that you had a responsibility. And having spent many, many years in the church world and seeing many pastors and church leaders who were morbidly obese, telling people how they should live their lives, but the evidence of how they were living their lives was pretty clear, to anybody watching. But the key that you said that was so important is that the conversation that you had with God was that you had a responsibility. So it wasn't like God was just going to take this thing, put your hand down and make you not, you can't eat this bread right now. You better, but you had to make a decision to change. It's almost like you had the ability to change or to get up and walk, but it was up to you to get up and walk. And that's something that's because I'm telling you, in our community, something that is deeply entrenched is also our religious beliefs and our religious faith on different levels and in different religions and different faiths. But what I've discovered also is that there can be this passive, codependent relationship that a lot of people have with their God. And it's almost like it takes responsibility away from the individual. And then that person does not reach their full potential because they're kind of in this relationship that is like, well, okay, God supposedly gives all the tools and resources, but the person fails to use the tools and the resources. And then in some cases turns around and blames God for their inability to execute the plan or to utilize the tools that they've already been given. I mean, that's something I've seen, but what you said, that little piece right there, when you talking about plant-based, oil-free, I was like, that's deep too, because again, if somebody is looking for someone, an external entity to come in and just do it for them, without them really taking responsibility for their own health. Because I hear you saying over and over, the doctors were about to pump you up with all these medications. Now, or they started the process, but then you had to take responsibility. One quick question. Did you have any health issues, diabetes, high blood pressure, anything like that?
I was pre-diabetic. I had hypertension, which is high blood pressure. My liver enzymes were abnormal, and my cholesterol, it was borderline about to get crazy. I couldn't give up butter. Like, I could give a lot of stuff, but butter, I was like, come on, man, butter is butter. Like, butter's butter, baby. I ain't giving up butter.
Butter's butter. Everybody know about that butter. Good thing it wasn't margarine or that other stuff they got out.
Absolutely.
If you're going to go out with the real deal.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of going out, like, that's the thing too. It's just like, needless to say, what the Lord said to me was revelatory. It was, I was just like, whoa. I thought we was just going to get there. And the Lord's like, no, you have a responsibility to get there. You have to do the right thing in order to get there. And so I thought about it and I said, the last thing I want to do is live an unfulfilled life. And on the other side, they say, well, what happened to you? How'd you get here? And some people say, well, this happened to me. It was a car accident, God forbid, or this, that. And then they say, well, what happened to you, Dishawn? Well, I couldn't stop eating burgers. Like just like, what I'm saying? Like, it's like, of all the things that could happen to us in life, that take life from us, why participate and do it yourself? Like, why eat a lifestyle or, have a lifestyle of eating food that's destroying your health? So it was like, I don't want to participate in my self-destruction in eating incorrectly. And so, like I said, I was hit from just a lot of angles, the ethical angle of it, the spiritual angle of it, the health angle of it, and just all of those things just hit me at one time. So you asked the question, like, what do I plan on doing to keep from going back? I think for me, because I've been hit with so many different aspects of it, if one aspect fails, like if I stop saying I no longer see the ethical criteria of holding on to this, I still have that spiritual thing that hit me. I still have my love for Africa that hit me. So like, I was just hit by so many different areas.
You have multiple whys.
Multiple whys. And so if one why fails,
multiple levels.
Right. So if one why fails, there's a plethora of other whys that's going to keep me going. And so at this point, none of my whys have failed. Like they are an impetus to me every single day.
All right. So now this is, and I know that for those who are watching, we want to get to the how you have implemented it, because you mentioned earlier that you spent decades with this habit of overeating from early childhood. It's normal. It's probably embedded not only from a physical standpoint, but from a psychological standpoint. You're like, okay, the chemicals in your body, probably the endorphins and all those different things are probably used to giving you a feeling or a high when you eat. So now you're going from decades, probably, I guess, 5 decades or so of a particular habit. How do you now, I hear the intellectual side, I hear the spiritual side. Now there's the habitual side that comes in. How do you take that habit and now curb that habit and to now go to plant-based, oil-free? I'm saying these burgers, these honey buns and cakes and pies and all this other kind of stuff, that's what you're used to. How do you go to now plant-based, oil-free, and all of that? How does that, did it start one day, like that's it, I'm going cold turkey? Did you gradually move into it? And I know everybody's situation is different, but how did you walk step by step from them burgers and them pies and cakes to plant-based, oil-free?
Great question. And I definitely want to say everybody's journey is different. So I'm just speaking for my journey. For me, I jumped into it 100% because I knew that I could not do baby steps. I knew that my cravings were too strong in the other direction. So I knew to do baby steps would risk failure. would risk me going back. And so I was all in. I was all in mentally, emotionally, spiritually, just intellectually. I was all in. And so it was just an easy leap to habitually go in 100%. And so I just 100% gave up everything. And at the end of the day, I wanted to live. I had joined a group, a health group, for whole food, plant-based, oil-free eating. I had joined the group, and when I described to the person in charge of the group everything that happened, and then, what the doctor said, and then what my aunt, who's a nurse, what she said to me about, because she introduced me to the diet and what she had said to me. And, I'm hearing all the doctors and everything say stuff, but I didn't go to medical school. So I only know what they're telling me. I don't really know anything behind, I don't know the metaphysics behind everything that they're telling me. And so he does. And so when I shared with him everything, he said to me, your aunt saved your life. And that just blew my mind, because I didn't know how close. I knew the Lord had said, you're about to die, but I didn't know how close I was to dying, because I didn't feel like I was dying. And I just had a friend just Monday. I talked to him Sunday. He died on Monday, who I thought was in good health. He looked good. I wish I was his size and things of that nature. He died. His father said that it was probably a heart attack or a stroke. And so you can feel good and think that everything is all right, and then in a second, things can happen. And he said, your aunt changed your life. Did you tell her thank you? And I was just like, man, I was like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. There's things I want to do, and I know, I keep saying this, but I got to get back to Ghana. I got to get back to Sierra Leone. And there's other places throughout the continent that I want to, that I want to visit and that I want to experience. And not just because, it's a vacation spot. Man, I can go anywhere and vacation. We can find a nice vacation here in America. It's that whole journey that I experienced there was at such a high level of just life-changing, life-altering experience that I knew I was compelled in a spiritual drive that people have to experience this. People have to know about this. My nieces, my nephews, my aunts, my uncles, my siblings, my parents. And so all of this just fed me, and it just fed me. And I was just like, I have to live.
You said something, Dishawn, because there are a lot of people out there watching who want to live and they want to experience the world. They want to see. They have items on the bucket list, and what's going to happen is the bucket's going to come before they get a chance to take it off the list because of different lifestyle choices, and obviously certain things out of our control. But when you talked about your desire for wanting to get back to the continent and exploring and seeing the world, that was a strong why for you. And for that person who's out there watching right now, I hope this conversation is encouraging you. And your issue might not have anything to do with weight. It might be a different kind of weight. It might be emotional weight. It might be trauma that has been unresolved, or a mindset or a belief system that has been embedded into you for decades that's preventing you from reaching your full potential. And so now you can curb that appetite and do something different. And listening to Dishawn, he went 100% in the opposite direction to say, you know what, I don't need to dibble and dabble over here. I need to go hard in this direction so I can fulfill those desires and dreams that he has. And so I say for you who's watching right now, you may have these things that you want to do, but you recognize you might be dibbling and dabbling in some things that's kind of watering down the effectiveness of what you're trying to do. And it may require you to go hard in the opposite direction in order to accomplish your goals. So, all right, so Dishawn, tell us about this plant-based and oil-free diet. How did that work? When you picked up that first forkful and said, all right, I'm gonna do this spinach and this kale and these carrots and these bean sprouts with a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette, how did that work out for you?
I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. It worked out good. And I tell you why. when I ate in the other direction, I was 100%. I went 100% hard in the other direction. Like I learned how to cook. I have a cabinet full of seasonings. I studied, as a cultural and ancestral genealogist, I've studied the food ways of different ethnic groups and things of that nature. And so I've just been, I just learned a lot about eating and food ways, and then how to make food taste good and things of that nature. And so the same energy that I put into making a piece of cow flesh taste good, or a piece of pig flesh taste good, that put that same energy into making a head of Chinese broccoli or Chinese Brussels sprouts or whatever, tastes good. Like I put that same energy, that same effort, that same delicateness of adding of seasonings and herbs and things of that nature. And so food doesn't have to be bland. Like you hear like whole food plant-based, that just sounds totally disgusting. Yeah, until you try it, until you try my dish. You know
what? Now I got to jump in here. You need to have a recipe book. Now I'm going into business consultation. You need to get a recipe book. You need to write a book. You need to get a blog. You need to get a podcast. All of these things right here, and focus right in on this. Don't deviate and go into some other stuff. Stay right in this lane right here.
Yeah.
There will be lots of fortune that comes your way. So y'all watch this podcast right now and mark everything that I just told Dishawn Gandy to do and watch what happens, because I've never tasted your food, but I know that it has to taste good because it was something. It was a passion of yours for so long. And I could hear when you were talking about how if you could make cow flesh and pig flesh taste good, imagine what you could do with vegetables, and how many people need to have these experiences. So just like you want to have people experience the continent, now you want them to be able to have the experience by changing their diet so they can experience the continent and beyond. So
absolutely.
So that's the deal, man. I can't wait to see the
I got you.
Recipe book. All of that, your journey, and with all the tools and resources that we have out here now, you can turn that around really by the end of the year. Anyway, sidebar. Yes. Let's go back to let's go back to you talking about the dietary change, and so taking the food, the plant-based food, and making it taste good.
Yeah, and knowing that, like there's something to knowing that what you're putting in your mouth is full of nutrition, and it's giving your body the optimum of what it needs to function, to live, to not only halt any kind of oncoming or present disease or sickness, but to also reverse it. And so knowing those kind of studies, and those studies that have been out there by world famous doctors who've got, who've done 40 years of research, 60 years of research on this stuff, and to see all of that. And so there's just something in the mind to know that you're doing the best for your body when you eat a certain way. There's just something to it. And so the no oil thing, like I had no clue that you could saute vegetables. So when I found it was like no oil, I was like, well, how do I saute vegetables? How do I saute my vegetables? Because I've only ever sauteed vegetables in olive oil. So I'm like, well, how do you saute vegetables?
I thought you were going to say butter.
A little butter there too, so I discovered vegetable broth. Like for me, vegetable broth is something I've seen it on the shelf when I went and grabbed the beef broth or the chicken broth or whatever. So I saw the vegetable broth and moved it out the way because it was in the way.
Right.
But now it became the thing that, like, wow. And it's like, and so you just discover.
Okay, but I got to ask you a question though. Okay, because somebody watching, they're saying, what's the problem with oil? Because are all oils bad? I mean, you have canola oil, you have vegetable oil, you have olive oil, you have sunflower seed oil, safflower oil. You have all these different oils that are plant-based. What's wrong with the oil?
So pretty much any oil that is extracted has gone through a process. So it's a processed oil. And so seeded oils, like to me, I would just so I would just avoid seeded oils altogether. But for me, with my angina, clogged arteries. So
you just need to clear. You just need something without. You just need a clean.
Right. Any kind of oil is going to keep clogging the arteries. So I didn't just want to stop the arteries from being clogged. Excuse me. I wanted to reverse it. And so that was the whole no oil thing, to reverse that. But for people who don't have heart conditions and they just want to eat better, I say a good practice is eat your oils, or eat food that has the oil in it. So instead of cooking with avocado oil, for the most part, have an avocado. Instead of, eat your seeds, eat your nuts, if you're going to get the oil, because we need that omega
omega 3.
So yeah, so when we get that omega 3, it's like, eat your omega 3. Just like I don't drink juices. I don't drink sugary juices, but then in terms of fruit juices, I don't drink fruit juices. If I want orange juice, I eat an orange. If I want apple juice, I eat an apple. That way, because the juice shoots right through your blood system. It doesn't go through the digestive, it goes right through your blood system, and it's going to elevate, it's going to elevate
sugar.
The sugar. It's just going to, especially when
orange juice, orange juice,
right, and things of that nature. And so it's knowing how to get what you need from other sources, and from sources in their whole food state. I
understand. I mean, because again, somebody listening, they'll say, well, okay, I'm going to go get me some orange juice. And I'm not saying orange juice is all bad or anything like that, but just saying that they'll look at it and they say, okay, I'm going to go get orange juice. I'm going to get apple juice. I love apple juice. People laugh at me. I get on the plane. What do you want? Apple juice, man? You want some scotch and such and such. Nah, I just need some apple juice right now. I'm good. So, when you break it down like that, especially for someone who's doing a very aggressive, really like a 90-degree turn in there, or you could even say a 180, if you will, turn in their diet, this is a part of your 100 going in, saying, okay, you don't want anything to clog your arteries. You don't want to do anything. You want to reverse it, and you want to change the whole process and go in a different direction. And so this is oftentimes what it takes in order to do it. Is it for everyone to do it that way? Of course, we can't say that.
Right.
But for you, what you've chosen to do is go in this direction. And, I can't wait to see the recipes, because obviously these recipes are going to have some things in place where when people, when they see it, they'll say, okay, wow, this is next level stuff right here, and then they'll get the results. But the other thing, Dishawn, is you building a community around it, getting other people and walking them through the journey. You've done this in other aspects of your life. You do it in other aspects of your life. But just imagine if you are the leader, the emotional, physical, and spiritual leader for people, and you show them how to live life on each one of these different levels, and you can show them when you were 450, and I imagine your optimum weight would be somewhere around 250, I guess. Were you like 6'2", 6'3"?
6'3", and a half, I like to say.
6'3" and a half, or headed to 6'4". So 250, you pretty much okay, and but you probably optimum is probably going to be around 225. It's probably where the scale.
That's what I want to get to.
Say it again.
That's what I want to get to.
Yeah, that's the BMI is going to have you right about 225.
Yeah. Well, no, the BMI wants me at 180, but the BMI is so outdated. It's
the BMI have you looking like you got something else going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes it take you. My BMI has me like at 180, like 180, somewhere around there. I was like, look, that's just not gonna happen.
Right.
I'm not gonna look right. It's going to be, everybody's going to be asking me if I'm okay, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So I can give you a good 215. We get close to it, but 210-ish. But anyway, but as you're making that move in that direction, people are going to need a coach. Show them how to do it. So, I'm just giving, obviously you focus on you first. You put your oxygen mask on, you make sure you're well. But as you're on that journey, you can certainly look to lead other people down that road, because it's, you increase your knowledge base. And as you continue to increase your knowledge base, it will only enhance what you're able to offer and provide, the quality and the content of what you're able to provide to people, man. It's powerful. So what did you so what'd your wife say? Well, I don't know if I want to ask this question or not.
When we come back, the conversation continues. But first, a special message from one of our sponsors. Join Darren and Destiny, twin explorers, on an epic journey across the African diaspora. From Ghana to Tanzania, Ethiopia, Brazil, and beyond. Their adventures uncover the beauty, history, and culture of these countries, changing the way children see the world. Dive into the adventures of Darren and Destiny now.
All right, I'm going to ask it anyway. You told me ahead of time I didn't, I could ask any question, but you know me. So did the obesity affect your situation, your manhood?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And the number one thing is that when you start to suffer down there, it should be, but nobody's taught us this. And so this is an opportunity where I get to share this. Mm-hmm. It should be the first sign that there's a problem with your blood flow. This would be the first sign that there's a problem with the blood flow and that arteries somewhere are getting clogged. And so no one teaches you that. What you see is if you have problems down there, you need this, or you need that drug, or you need this drug, and here's this drug, and that drug. You're told this, that, and the third, but you're never told that it is connected to your health. And that's just some knowledge that I just want to put out there for men who might suffer down there, or it might not be the way you want it, or it might not be the way your spouse wants it. And that is that should be the first sign that there is problem with your blood flow. And
when
that
did you first notice that it was a problem? You were an athlete, obviously back in the day, stuff was
right
rolling. When did you first notice that things started slowing down?
I'd say about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of those years, up until about a year ago, you were still going strong.
Yeah, and that's why I felt like I rule the world. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, I'm good. I'm overweight, but I'm going to the doctors. I'm not diabetic, and the doctors be like, I'm surprised. I thought you would be diabetic. It was like, come on, doc. Like, come on, I got this. So I felt like I got this. I could eat the way I eat and manage life. Like, I'm good. And so, everything was going dandy. And that's just the way the body is, that sometimes everything could go dandy. And then within a matter of seconds, boom, everybody's surprised, like, yo, what happened? Did you hear? So-and-so the worst of it, so-and-so just dropped dead. But why? He looked to be in great health, or he was just playing basketball with us the other day. Like, that's how it can be, And so, but once my eating habits changed and I took that health and wellness journey, and that, everything changed.
Oh, it came back. It came back?
It came back, bro.
It came back. It comes back.
Changed. Yes, sir.
Y'all hear, fellas, it can come back. It can come back. You turn down the burgers and fries a little bit. It can come back. You can be strong again. Strong.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think that's something that men need to hear and they need to know. They need to know the sign that if you are experiencing that, you don't rush to medication. Look how you're eating. Go and get a full body checkup. Go and get some blood work done, because that's the first sign of blood flow not flowing the way it should. And then to know that you can change that by what you put in your mouth. Your food is your medicine. Your food is your medication. And you can change that. And when it changes, you can thank me later.
All right. And the fellas, and the ladies who are watching right now, they might say, hey, let me go ahead and pass this clip along to my man, because, or the fellas watching right now, because we have a lot of men who follow and watch and pay attention to what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And these types of conversations are needed, how the obesity ties into the erectile function or dysfunction. I would imagine your testosterone levels probably were a little bit on the lower side, obviously. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of things that contribute to this, and this is a really inspirational conversation, a needed conversation, and one that I believe is a life-changing conversation. for someone watching right now, someone, whether you don't have to be in your 50s to hear this. You could be in your 20s and offset this. You could be, I just started a segment that talks about what would I tell 22-year-old Jay. And, these are the conversations that I would have. Protect your health. Do these things at 22, because when you become 50 plus, now, you're going to be looking back and saying to yourself, this is what I could have done or should have done, or now you're trying to curb these different habits. So it's like a twofold, being 53 years old, you telling 23-year-old Dishawn, hey, this is what I would have done differently. Let me turn down the plate now. Let me not let it get to this point. But that 23-year-old who's watching right now, who's paying attention to this video, they can make a decision by hearing your story to say, I don't want to be in that position at 53. I don't want to be in that position. I can do something about it now. And that's why it's a beautiful part about being your age, you being 53, you being able to now show people and still have your health and energy to show this is how you can turn this around, but also this is how you can prevent it. It doesn't have nothing to that point. So that's
absolutely.
So what'd your wife say, man, when she saw all the changes and everything, and she's looking, she's like, oh, wait a minute, he back.
She has joined me on this journey, which for me has been a plus. And so what I was able to do is that, like I said, I leaped in 100%. And so what I was learning, I was sharing it with her. I wasn't just keeping it to myself, because I saw that it's not just for me. It's for everybody. Like we all grew up eating the standard American diet. Yeah. And I heard one doctor call it the SAD diet. SAD, S-A-D. It's a SAD. The standard American diet is a really sad diet. It's a poor diet. It's not even allowed in
many parts of the world, right?
Countries, many parts of the world, And so I saw that this wasn't just something for me, that everybody should take this journey. And if I love my wife, then she should know about this as well. So we learned together, and she was able to make those choices of, with me. And so, it's just been good. And then she planted a garden, she has a garden. It's just beautiful. Man, I think it's like 12, 13 things we grow in the garden, wow. and just really just embracing that lifestyle 100%. So my wife has been 100% on board, not just in supporting me with her words, but also in her deeds by coming alongside me and joining me in this. So, and you know what else? I just want to say this. In January, my metabolic age, I was 50. In January, I was still 53. So I was 53 years old. My metabolic age had me in my 70s.
Really?
Yeah. And now my metabolic age is 51. Is that of a 51-year-old man? Oh wow! And so it's gone. It's younger than what I actually am. And so that's just encouragement for me. And I hope that's encouragement for other people who hear that, because you have your biological age, you have your chronological age, you have your metabolic age, and things of that nature. And so we tend to only look at our chronological age. I'm a 53-year-old man, but they say black don't crack. But the statistics is that most black people are biologically older than what they are chronologically, just because of our eating habits.
Black don't crack externally.
Externally, but absolutely. Internally is cracking.
Oh, black been cracking for a whole.
Black been cracking.
I'll never forget my Uncle Bill. He in 1986, he was diagnosed with lung cancer because he smoked cigarettes his whole life. And the last time I saw Uncle Bill was at the hospital. It was the VA hospital in Charleston, South Carolina. And he was sitting there smoking a cigarette as he was terminally ill, as he was on. I mean, this was it. He knew. And I guess at that point, once maybe his rationale was, okay, this is what I've been doing. But talking about that habit and how it turns, how it leads to this kind of self-destructive behavior. So internally, externally we look great, but internally, how are we really looking? And you talked about getting checkups. You talked about, because a lot of times we have these habits that don't manifest until those sudden things happen, acute situations, onset of these different diseases that are totally preventable in many cases. So, again, Shawn, your story, your message is going to be one that reaches many people, as many people as you wanted to reach. I believe that firmly. It's just up to you. So as we get ready to close, anything that you want to share with everybody?
Sure. I just want to say, I just want to encourage, especially people of the African diaspora, to know that the largest growing demographic of people who are changing their lifestyle, eating better, even embracing a whole food plant-based, not necessarily oil-free, but a whole food plant-based lifestyle, is the African diaspora. And so I think it's inherently in us. I think it's a gene that's in us, that's been passed down by our ancestors because they didn't grow up on eating the lifestyle that we have now of eating in America. And that even the soul food kind of thing that we've held on to and passed down, even that was a lifestyle that was forced on us by what we were forced to eat. But so I think, there's a gene that remembers ancestrally what we as a people ate. And so we're starting to get back to that. And I think that that's just a really, really good thing to know, and that we should just really embrace that. And when you know better, just do better. Like that, I always say that. That's just the thing. When you know better, do better. And I do plan on putting together some stuff and just sharing it with people. I get calls all the time from people, and I even have a doctor who did a study with their patients. She has a bunch of patients, and she put them on this whole food, plant-based, no oil diet, and their diseases and their sicknesses have stopped and reversed. And so when my aunt told her, who's a practitioner nurse, when she told her that I had adopted the same diet, she asked me if I could submit my lab work to the study and things of that nature. And so there's just some really good positivity about taking care of yourself, and it starts with basically what you eat.
Mr. Dishawn Gandy has joined us once again here on the Passport to Purpose podcast as we talk about so many different aspects and just conversations and insights into people's lives. And one thing that we wanted to make sure that we focused on was Dishawn's desire to travel back to Africa, but also how traveling to Sierra Leone, he's a dual citizen of Sierra Leone, he's traveled to Ghana, how it influenced and inspired him to lose more than 100 pounds to date. He still has a little ways to go in the journey, but once you get started, the good thing about it is that you have a track record of success. And so that's something that you do have, and that's the encouragement here. And so what I want everybody to do is to make sure you follow Dishawn and ask him any questions, encourage him along the way, because that's the thing. Sometimes we get in this journey and we don't understand how our stories are helping and inspiring other people. So encourage him, inspire him. If you have questions, reach out to him. All of his contact details will be in the description. But it's so good, man. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see your progress. It's great to hear your story. And now, man, I can't wait to see how your message is elevated, and how you help people find that passport to purpose in their lives, where they can go and travel and see the world or whatever their desire is, because they made certain dietary changes. But before they made the dietary changes, they made the mindset change, they made the habit change, and now they're able to reap the results and the benefits. And that's what you have embodied, and that's what you have communicated today. So Dishawn, man, I want to thank you for joining me, and we got to do a follow-up. So when you hit that next benchmark, whatever you call it, if it's 50 pounds, 100 pounds, or whatever it is, when you release your book, your recipe book, now your story book, now this is your book, your like your autobiography book, then you do the recipe book to accompany that, and then whatever you decide to release, just let us know, and we'll make sure we get the word out to everybody so they can follow you and support you along the way.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, man. All right. Well, listen, everybody, we are actually here live, and you all had a chance to hear Dishawn and his story. And I know some of you may have some questions, so please, in the chat, please feel free to ask any questions that you may have of Dishawn. Dishawn, what are your thoughts about that?
Just from the whole the interview. I thought it was very impactful. Just hearing some things, just hearing everything again, it just reiterates uh, my commitment to wanting a better lifestyle, choosing a healthier lifestyle, understanding and appreciation, having that appreciation that our food is our medication. What we eat can actually hurt us or harm us, and just having that knowledge is just great. And I just want to continue to be able to share that with people.
Well, you see right there in the comments, Barry, he says, "Yeah, right, brother. That change is inevitable. Looking forward to seeing your progress." And for those who are there, we're here live. We're here live. This is like not recorded at this moment, where you can actually communicate directly with Dishawn, and if you're there, what your thoughts are. How did his story inspire you, or what did you learn from it? There's so many different aspects of this, because you hear someone share and open up their life, because that's the one thing you opened up and shared a lot about your life that a lot of people won't share. And it's like everybody else can see it, but other people won't necessarily say it. So that's something that stuck out to me. Let's see here. Here's um these are your folks right here, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. uh,
So is it
uh,
UJ? Is it UJ?
Uncle Jeff.
Oh, Uncle Jeff. Oh, see, okay. See, now you gonna have me come up and get a plate myself. You talking about turning what's your favorite dish out of what you've created?
What's my favorite dish?
Yeah, out of the vegetables
Wow.
and the new diet, because I'm sure you had a favorite before. You talked about those burgers, so I guess the burgers were a
Yeah,
favorite before.
yeah.
So
Well, my wife has a way with what she does with chickpeas and lentils. That's just so anytime that she's going to go in the kitchen and move around a bit in there and do anything with some chickpeas or some lentils, bro, it's phenomenal. For me, I'm in the journey now where I'm starting to discover eating a lot of raw food, whole food, implementing a lot of living raw food in my daily intake. The average American is somewhere doing about 10% of raw living food. And it should be somewhere up around 65, 70%. And so now I'm just really incorporating that. I'm just having a lot of fun, like just discovering that. My wife was in Southern Africa about a month ago, and during that time, I just really leaned into eating a lot of living raw foods and just discovering what you can do with that. Like everything doesn't have to be cooked, and so I've been exploring that, and it's just been amazing. Since about the last week, I lost 10 pounds.
oh wow.
So yeah, so um
We got a question here for you. Got a question. Here's it right here. How many times do you eat a day?
So I eat 2 times a day. I actually intermittent fast, so I don't break my fast until about. It varies. It could be anywhere from 12 to 3 p.m. I break my
Okay.
fast, and I break it with fruit. I break my fast with fruit. So I'm eating like an apple, some bananas, or I'll make a smoothie, a smoothie. I'm not gonna say fruit smoothie because I'm gonna mix it with fruit and greens. So I'm mixing it with fruit and greens, things of that nature. And if I do a smoothie, um, I'm packing it. I'm packing it with not only nutrition but also a good anywhere from a good 500 to 700 calories.
Okay.
And so my smoothie is a meal replacement, but it's loaded with spinach, arugula, dandelion greens, and then I'm doing like the blueberries, a banana, and things of that nature. And then I'll eat dinner. And so I try not to eat no later than, and that's where I need to be better at. But I'm trying to eat no later than 8 p.m.
Okay.
And that's it. You
Okay.
know, sometimes I'll do one meal a day just because I'm not hungry. And so, but I always make sure that within whatever I'm eating, that I definitely get my protein that I need, and other, nutrients that I know I need.
All right. Well, here's a question. What's your exercise regimen?
So I'll be honest with you. I hate exercising. Those, if I got some friends here from high school, they can tell you exercise was never my thing. Practice, I hated practice. The game, I'm all about the game. Some of my, high school friends, they love to practice. I'm like, practice? Come on, man. So exercise has never been my strong suit. And so, my sports medicine doctor had, she's was working with me or has been working with me through. She didn't want me working out right quickly and things of that nature. Like she wanted me to take my time with that. So I'm at the point now where I'm starting to incorporate just muscle toning. So I'm doing starting a regimen of exercising where I'm just toning, because you can imagine after losing 100 something pounds, you know, your skin starts to become flabby and things of that nature. And so that's a whole nother beast that if you don't jump on now, you're pretty much back to where you started. And so, starting this regimen now of muscle toning, strengthening, and things of that nature. And so, just trying to do that daily, because you can do that daily. It doesn't have to be all day. It doesn't have to be something that, you can do it right in your home. You don't have to join the gym. You can if you want, but you could do it right in your home. And so that's that.
All right, here's another question came in. When you first made the diet change, how long was it before you saw a weight change?
Immediately. I'll say within a week. But I think because I was heavy. I was so heavy. Heavier people tend to lose weight quicker than people who are not as heavy. I don't know the science behind that or anything like that. But for me, it was immediately. And again, I jumped in it 100%. I wasn't messing around. I go strong either direction. So when I was going strong in one direction, so when I switched over to the other direction, I was like, I might as well give it 100. So it was immediate.
All right, here's the next question. Do you detox?
So I haven't done a full body detox as of yet. I'm looking in to start one the 1st of September. But what I have been doing, and I just did it for August, and I'm going to add that to my ritual detoxing, because you should detox anywhere around 3 times a year, or at least once a year. But what I've started doing is I started doing a raw food diet for 3 days straight for the beginning of each month, as a form of just detoxing, and that's separate from detoxing 3 times a year.
All right. Next question is, how much protein do you consume daily?
So, great question. The standard, our medical standard, or whatever's out there that's telling us what we need for protein is so they've distorted it. They tell us that we need so much protein, and it's just not true. And so that daily standard of protein, I definitely get that in. What I've learned to do is I've learned to even put like red beans in my smoothies, a half a cup of red beans or half a cup of chickpeas into my smoothie and things of that nature. So I'm definitely getting that daily allowance, sometimes more, but the numbers are just inflated on what those commercial numbers are highly inflated. And so people are struggling. That's why people say, oh, well, I don't want to become a vegan. I don't want to do whole food plant-based because, I can't get my protein. Some of the most athletic people in the world who hold titles in some of extreme sports are whole food plant-based people. So.
All right. Here's somebody from over our cousin from around the way in Sierra Leone. Are you Timony? Dishawn?
No. My wife is Timney and Mende. So,
Okay, I'm Timony, and I see Barry's Timony. But what about that rice? That
yes,
rice
that's
now, that's New Orleans, Charleston, all that low country area, whether it be down in Louisiana or Georgia, Florida, Savannah, I mean, South Carolina, North Carolina. How about you and the rice? How's that working out for you?
Oh, first of all, I am Limba and Kusheo to my brother. Let's see. And yes, I still eat rice. For sure, I still eat rice. But before, rice was like, I'm not going to say, like, if I put rice on my plate, rice covered my plate.
Oh, yeah.
And if they were vegetables, they whatever. Like if they showed up, they did show up, but yeah, I still eat rice. I just rice is not the main thing on my plate, so I try to make my vegetables um 75% of my plate, or at least 60%, and then my grains and stuff like that. And so if I'm having carbs, it's very minimum. Carbs is the minimum.
All right. Michelle says aquasizing is a great way to work out when heavy. And also, Beverly sending a message congratulating you on the same journey with you and your wife and see how you become vegan. Food doesn't taste like what it used to be 30, 40 years ago. And here's another question Michelle sent in. Do you take certain specific supplements?
I do. I take B12. I think B12 and multivitamins. And a shout out to my brother-in-law, Tamel Pittman, who does the vitamins and the nutrients. So, brother-in-law, I need to re-up. But yes, I do take those supplements, B12, just because B12 is something that you're not going to naturally get. It's from the earth. It's in the ground. So you would have to eat tons of mushrooms to get B12. But you can get it from eating. If you do eat meat, you can get your B12 from eating meat. But I don't eat meat, and so I love mushrooms. I eat mushrooms all the time. I got a refrigerator full of mushrooms now. But I do take B12 as a supplement.
All right. And Lisa sent you a message, uh, just letting you know that she is proud of you, and just wanted to let you know that as well. So yeah, well, Dishawn, I want to let you know, man, you have touched a lot of people, and really, this conversation is going to touch even more people in the replay, and that's why we want everybody to click the like button, the share. Obviously, be sure to subscribe and be sure to follow Dishawn on the different social platforms. And let me pull up your info right here so everybody can see you where to find you. There you go, Mr. Dishawn J. Gandy. And you see at Dishawn JG for the hashtags and or the handles where you can find him. But the thing is this, man, again, I want to thank you for us having a conversation a couple of days ago, but then coming on live because you didn't know. I just hit you up right before we went live and said, come on, man, let's go. If you were available, cool. If not, hey, I got it. I understood. But I'm glad for everyone to be able to see and hear you. Again, if you're on the replay, please. Oh, this is a good question that came in right here. I want to put this up. Do you drink a certain amount of water?
Yes. Well, I do drink. I do drink. I try to get in. Oh, let's see. Phew. I don't know how many glasses are in 16 ounces.
Probably two.
Two.
Two
So
8-ounce glasses.
I do about 20 glasses of water a day.
Okay. All right. And that's a form of detox too.
That's absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely it
Feel
is.
that
And you know what? It's all about gut health too, man. So I definitely encourage people, and I'm going to be doing something on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about gut health as well. But definitely, people should definitely look in and do research on gut health because a lot of our problems and our symptoms are just our guts just need to be cleaned out.
Yeah. That's real. And thank you, Barry. Thank you so much. And this again, one of the reasons why we're having this conversation is because we're showing people how to live. They want to travel the world. Deshaun, he wants to go back to Africa. He recognized he needed to make some decisions in order to make that happen. And he's doing it. He's putting in the work. And I believe that you will be able to take that journey and have that experience again, as well as leading other people. But the more and more people hear your story, the more and more people see your results, it's only going to lend more credibility to the lifestyle change that you have adopted. And that's the cool part about it. And you and Dawn being there working together and having the garden, and I see the community of people who are excited for you and supporting you and just really on your side. And the thing is this: sometimes we see people in their struggle, and many times we don't know what to say or do. So we'll see someone who's morbidly obese. We'll see someone who they may have some things going on in their life, and we don't know what to say, but we want the best and we wish them the best. And so, Dishawn, I'm sure there were people who saw what was going on, but they didn't know what to say to you. What can someone, if we see someone who's 400 pounds, is there anything that we could say that, and of course, life is subjective, can't generalize, but is there something that you wish someone would have said to you or could have said to you, even though this is ultimately your responsibility? But was there some kind of way? I mean, I just came to you straight up. I said, "This is my brother. We a certain age. We got to say something." But is there something that someone could have said to you, or a way to approach someone if we see them, in that condition? Because I mean, people know, but is there something that could have been said?
Yeah. So a lot of stuff was said to me, and I think it took all of that. My aunt Rhonda telling me, if your life depended on it, would you change your diet? What my wife and my father said to me, and also what the Lord said to me in prayer, and what the doctor said to me. So I think all of that. And so if there's just one phrase or one kind of term or something that you can say to people, I don't think that there is. I think it's just having that conversation. I think it's a conversation.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have, and it probably won't be just one conversation. That's because that's just the way we are as humans. It's not going to just be one conversation, because you and I talked several times,
We did.
and it took that, that got me thinking as well, and that was back in, I think, 2024 when we were down in Atlanta,
Oh yeah,
so
that's 23. That was in October
2023.
2023. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's conversation. It's just being willing to have conversations that may be uncomfortable, but are good conversations to have. And then seeing other people. Like I saw my friends. I saw my friend Diane, who's one of my directors, in theater, and I just saw what she was going. How just her dramatic weight loss, and I was just like, man, so it's just finding ways to be inspired as well, and then sharing those inspirations with other people.
All right, everybody. You all have heard it from the man. This Passport to Purpose podcast. Y'all got the live edition. Shawn, you are a true brother, a true genuine brother, one of the few genuine brothers that I've met out here. And that's why I was so excited when I saw the progress, and just wishing you the very best. And I know I see your community around you, and your community is going to continue to grow, because there are going to be more and more people who need the support and the encouragement of the results that you have been able to accomplish. And so that is so powerful. And man, Francis.
Francis. Ah, ah,
What's going on, Francis? Oh man. So that's what I'm talking
uh,
about. Yeah. Yeah.
all
So
the way,
yeah,
all the way from Sierra Leone,
yeah,
right?
right. Or Canada.
Or Canada, yeah, wherever he is right now, right?
Yeah. So that, I mean, but that's your message is going to touch the world. And that's all I can say. I'm just glad to be able to have you here. We've captured this moment. And so let's continue the conversation. And for those who are watching right now and seeing, well, we're going to follow the journey. And that's the deal. So continue doing what you're doing, man. Thank you for being um, thank you for being here tonight, and being, being live. That's the deal, being ready. And that's how we do it, y'all. This is the Passport to Purpose. This is much bigger. As we talk about traveling, you see how travel can inspire. And so we both met Francis while traveling, and we met so many other people along the way while traveling. And we didn't meet while traveling. We met, actually, well, kind of sort of, because you came from Jersey and I came from DC. We met in Baltimore. So
Right,
yeah, a
right,
little bit
right.
of traveling there, a little bit of
Yep.
traveling, but that is, that's what makes the difference here. And so yeah. So if you are interested in becoming a part of the Passport to Purpose community, oh, there we go, Lisa. There you go, Lisa, sending her love to you as well. Her encouragement.
Appreciation, cousin. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that it's it's so important. For those who are, if you want to, add the or become a part of the Passport to Purpose community, all you got to do right here, go to MaximumImpactTravel.com, join the email list. You get updates on everything that we have. We have our challenge coming up to show you how to live. So whatever it is, your thing might not be weight. It just might be you want to do something different. You've been in the rat race. You've been doing this thing. Now you're ready to make some investments into yourself, spend some time on yourself. We're going to show you how to do it because, Dishawn, you've seen me travel the world. And now it's time for others to have that experience if that's what they want to do. And so you have begun that process. We want to be able to see you travel more as you desire to do it and lead others along the way and expand our minds, expand our perspectives, and get to meet and see other parts of the world, filling in those missing pieces of the puzzle. So please be sure to follow Mr. Dishawn Gandy right here. You can follow him at Dishawn JG. Please follow him. And if you want to follow me, see where I am, you can follow me at J Cameron Official, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, so you can see what's going on my end. And we invite you to join us on some of our amazing travel experiences. So, Dishawn, thank you once again for joining us today. And as we get ready to wrap up, one thing I want everybody to know is that you have options. Your only place does not have to be where you are right now. You have options around the world. And you spoke so much about Ghana. I want everybody to see just a little taste of what Ghana has to offer. All right, until next time, everybody, take care, be safe. Thank you so much, Dishawn.
Peace. Bless you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, feel that vibe. Welcome to Ghana, where your dreams come alive. Pack your bags, it's time to fly to the land where the colors touch the sky. From Accra's hustle to the coast so sweet, Ghana's got the rhythm, got you moving your feet. Culture rich, with a history so deep. People warm as the sun, it's love that you reap. Jollof and Banku, taste buds in the dance. In this paradise, you'll get your chance. You have options, oh yes you do. Ghana's calling, it's time to break through. Metal in your soul, come and find your peace. Embrace the opportunity, let your worries cease. Stylish in Kent, the fashion's so fly. Ghana's the runway, come and give it a try. Real estate booming, invest in the vibe. From modern apartments to homes that thrive. Opportunities open, don't sit and wait. Step into your future, now's the perfect date. For retirement dreams, it's a fresh start. With kindness everywhere, it'll warm your heart. You have options, oh yes you do. Ghana's calling, it's time to break through. Metal in your soul, come and find your peace. Embrace the opportunity, let your worries cease. Feel the beat, feel the joy in the air. From the markets to the beach, there's love everywhere. Frustrated at home, need a new scene. Ghana's your answer, you gotta believe. Connections are strong, the community's tight. In this African home, every day shines bright. So come on down, let your dreams ignite. Each moment you live, everything feels right. Freedom in your journey, peace in the land. Ghana's the place where you take a stand. Culturally rich, full of life and grace. Let the warmth surround, find your sacred space. You have options, oh yes you do. Ghana's calling, it's time to break through. Metal in your soul, come and find your peace. Embrace the opportunity, let your worries cease. So feel that rhythm, join the heartfelt play. In the land of Ghana, come explore today. From food to fashion and real estate too, with kindness and
Growing up in America as a black man is one of the most difficult things that you can do. For more than 500 years, there's been an intentional effort to separate those who descend from the continent of Africa from the continent of Africa. Through education, finances, religion, culture, this divide has spread throughout the world.
The educational system is the greatest propagator of that and the greatest poisoner of the minds, not only of African people who have a negative image of themselves, but non-African people who have a negative image of African people.
The American system was created so they can have workers. There is a story that's been sold to the rest of the world about Africa.
It's fed both ways. They're feeding us, oh, they're living in villages with big bellies and flies, and they're feeding, oh, they're just rappers and they're killing each other. And
it's bad that we have so many Europeans now visiting Africa than actually our own black people. Again, information, those Europeans, they know about Africa, but our own people in the United States, for example, do not know about Africa.
It hurts me so much to hear that we sold them into slavery. And so when I'm here and they come, there I say the devil is a liar. Why? Because, you know, they will know the truth.
They try to kill my soul. Don't want to see me
46-year-old George Floyd was choked by a cop digging into his
I'm unstoppable. Still I'm unstoppable.
I had to make a decision to understand the truth, to understand the information that perhaps someone did not want me to know. What it began for me was a journey and a search for the truth, to create a different legacy for my children. Education is so important, and knowing the history beyond what they teach us in the U.S., and they didn't teach me much of anything. That's why I apologize to you and your brothers for putting y'all in that school system, because it wasn't right.
I want young people to see out in the U.S. and these places. I really want them to begin to grow up seeing Africa as central to their future, as central to their opportunities, as central to their safety, as central to their being.
And let them know that this is who you are, be proud of who you are, and embrace it all.
every agenda that's been pushed on us, it's time to destroy that and create our own narrative as people of color, as diasporans, and as the new Africans.
People need to see the world. They need to get on a plane, get in a car, go outside of your comfort zone, because when you go somewhere else, you understand people more. You can be more empathetic in certain situations because you know where they're coming from, and you can learn about yourself.
When I see my brothers from the diaspora come, it warms my heart so much. It makes me so happy.
And when you come here, it's not just a slavery story, it's when we were kings and still are kings.
As long as Africa is disrespected, we cannot enjoy our full potential as an individual of African descent until Africa itself is respected.
When I came to Ghana and discovered how much I was not taught, I realized the importance of educating myself. This is where it all began. This is where my life changed. This is where I began to discover who I was. And I want to take you on that journey with me.